Hi everyone, welcome to Teen Minds Real Talk. I'll be your host today. I'm Katrina Seligwa and hope you learn a lot today of the topic I'm going to discuss. So today we're going to dive into a really serious and very important topic in our daily lives. Topic today is going to be mental health. First of all, I'm not a therapist. I'm just a girl with a mic and curious about analyzing everything and to learn more about everything. So hope you learn from my discussion today. So what is mental health? Mental health refers to the state of well-being, either emotionally, psychologically, or social being of a person. It affects how a person thinks, how a person feels, and how a person interacts with the outside world. So you see, there is good mental health and there is bad mental health. For good mental health is the well-being of a person of coping up with life challenges, and when we come to bad mental health is the struggles of coping up with life challenges. So what is mental health issues? So mental health struggles is the situation or the struggles and the challenges that a person faces in how to cope up with challenges. For example, for example, how a person feels, how a person interacts with people, and it also influences how they make their decisions. So for me, I'm going to talk about the big four mental health issues. About anxiety. So anxiety is just being nervous. No, it's not just all about being nervous. So many people tend to think anxiety is being nervous, but to me, I don't think so. You see, for people with anxiety, it affects how they think, and their mind runs very fast. They'll be like, what, this person will be judging? What if I do this? What will she say about me? What will people do if I make this decision? What will people say? You see, so for people with anxiety, they're really anxious. For example, you have a mock exam coming up, and then be like, if you are seated in that exam room, utakuwa zile za kisha make up paper kwa ama invigilator, make up paper kwa meza yako, and then be like, you're not ready, you're not, like, you start breathing heavily, you start shaking, and then they'll be like wondering what's wrong with this person. So you see, for anxiety, it can either be physical. By being physical, maybe you can start shaking, you see, or emotional. Emotional would be like, what will be people thinking about me? What will be people saying about what I do? You see, ama you'll be like, maybe people hate me secretly that you don't know. Like, you start overthinking, you make up things in your mind. That's having anxiety. And for me, I tend to think with people with anxiety, maybe they just need someone to support them, and they need people with a listening ear. Like, chini and you listen to that person without judging, always for help to that person. You can always seek professional help if you think that you can't do it on your own. And the second one, you're going to have ADHD. That's hyperactivity disorder, attention deficit. You see, so for people with ADHD, like teens with ADHD, they find it hard to just sit down and relax. Most of them, they get distracted so easily. For example, Tisha amesema fungua page 92 on your textbook, but you find this person bado ako page 2, ako na admire cover page, ako like, ayuko concentrated, ako distracted by small things. For example, inzi ikipita, ako tu anaifuata penye inaenda, you see, ama wanaangalia nje, like just distracted. They can't focus on one thing. And for people with ADHD, I don't think that it's being lazy. No, it's just a condition that it affects how a person concentrates. And for these people, you can find them, they're very hilarious in class, they're very funny. So that's ADHD. For the third one, we're going to have depression. Depression is being sad. No, people tend to think that depression is being sad. Depression makes you lose interest in things that you love. You see, for people with depression, like, you can find this person very active, very hyper, very jumpy, very loving, very smiling, but all of a sudden you can just find this person very quiet, isolating themselves. They don't like being with people. They just want to be alone, and they don't open up easily when you're like, Amina, what's wrong? They'll be like, I'm fine, niko tu sawa. They don't want to open up. And you see, for people with depression, they always find it like, how like the most appropriate method they find of solving their mental is maybe they cry, and crying is not helping, you see. So they start self-harming, and that's not like the appropriate way or the appropriate thing to do. So you see, for people with depression, I think we should always give them a listening ear also, and always be ready to listen to them, like being there to support them, like be there to support them. Whatever they say, listen to them carefully, because their minds pay inakimbia very, 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 very fast. And for the last one, you're going to have eating disorder. So eating disorder is having a problem with your food. You see, eating disorder is not all about eating too much. You can also eating disorder, you can also eat little than how umezoea. So you can find that I'm eating 5 chapatis, and my friend mwenye amezoea kula 6 chapatis, all of a sudden anakula moja, then be like, what's wrong? You see, for people with eating disorders, they like how the beauty standards, you see, for most girls, let me say most girls, they're always affected by like body shape, the weight, the beauty standards. Unaona mtu anaanza kuacha kukula, they be like, I want to look like that, I want to be like that. So unaona anaanza kupunguza like their eating, ama they just stop eating completely. You see, this is an unhealthy eating habit. You see, it affects even your health issues. Utapata like your immune system inaenda like very low, inakuwa chini sana, and then you be like starting getting sick all of a sudden, you see. So, and another one, you can also find a person, you have had something called stress eating. So you see people like, they be like, maybe nikikula itatoa stress, maybe nikikula all of this will go away. So I've seen this in most of my friends at school. So you see, like for example, you're having a major exam coming up, and you'll be like, you'll be uko so scared, uko so stressed out, and then you just see the canteen. For our case, we call it the tuck shop, and then you'll be like, wow, that's my place. And then you go buy junk food. You see, you're eating unhealthy. You buy food, you eat, and most of the time you find when you eat a lot, you start being lazy. You can't even read, utalala too. So you see, it's very unhealthy, like stress eating, like eating a lot to solve your stress. So for me, I see how we can help these people is always listen to them, and how parents can best help is educate themselves first on how, like, my child can do this, why is my child going through this. You see, understanding the children and always listening to them. Every time ukiona like some changes in your child, you can always like start talking to them, and if it's very serious, you can always seek professional help. So thank you all for listening to me today, and hope you've learned a lot. Bye.